The Toronto Blue Jays have found their next star in Trey Yesavage, who is now with High A. He was a veteran pitcher in the college ranks. The Blue Jays took him in the first round of last year's draft, and he has been nothing short of phenomenal thus far. Here's hoping that he could stay healthy and be a valuable contributor to the Blue Jays rotation, maybe as soon as this season. So we'll break that down and much more on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, and Trey Yesavage has been a big topic of conversation among Toronto Blue Jay fans, as the Major League team has left a little bit to be desired towards the fan base, but there have been some definite shining stars in the prospect pool, none bigger than Arjun Nimmala, who I will have a video on pretty soon, as well as Trey Yesavage, who I believe is going to be a future ace in the big leagues. That kind of stuff just doesn't roll around very often. He was a strikeout machine at East Carolina with a sub-2 ERA, so many strikeouts, and just unbelievable mid to high 90s fastball with a great pitch mix. And that stuff has translated thus far to rookie ball in Dunedin, and now to his recent promotion and his first start with High A Vancouver. He has been unbelievable. I mentioned strikeout machine. He's got 65 strikeouts and just over 37 innings of work. So these are professional hitters, and it took him no time at all to get acclimated to pro ball. And he looks like he belongs. There's no doubt about it. Now, I mentioned off the top that he was sort of a veteran kind of pitcher in his time. He's only 22 or 21 years old. Like he's still got a long ways to go in terms of his development, but he stayed in college for a long time. The Blue Jays typically don't select college pitchers with their first round picks. They tend to go more so for the lottery ticket high school arms that are throwing in the high 90s to triple digits. And I get that. It makes sense. But considering where the team is at, considering their needs in the starting pitching rotation, I believe Trey Yesavage was the best player available in the 20s where they selected him. And what an amazing pick. What an amazing pick it has turned out to be. The example that I'm going to use is Alek Manoah, who quickly rose to the big leagues after just a handful of starts in the minor leagues. And that was another example of an older pitcher who was more mature and ready for the big league level. And you saw there was an instant impact with Manoah. Now, we don't know what the future holds with him. We don't know if he'll be able to get back to Cy Young contention. My guess is not, but look, that was very successful, the run that he had early on in his career, where he was used to pitching big innings. He was a workhorse at West Virginia. He was a workhorse for the Blue Jays in the minor leagues, and it took him no time at all to get used to the pro level. Now, there's a tweet that I saw by Jamie Campbell, the guy who hosts the Blue Jays pregame show and the postgame show. He said, "I wouldn't be surprised if we see Trey Yesavage as soon as this season for the Blue Jays." Now, I don't know. I don't. It's definitely a possibility, especially considering the injuries that the Blue Jays have had and the uncertainty with the final spot in that starting rotation. So here's to hoping that Trey Savage can crack the big league roster and really be an impact player as soon as this season. But there's no use to rush him. I mean, the Blue Jays are not going to call up Arjun Nimmala anytime soon. He's still only 19 years old. But as for Trey Savage, I definitely see a world in which he can play a part for the Blue Jays this year because he is older and he does have a bit more seasoning at the college level, whereas Nimmala was drafted straight out of high school and it took him some time. I mean, he struggled and he showed some flashes of brilliance, but there's definitely some inconsistencies in his game. The walk rate, not amazing. I mean, still striking out at a decently high clip, but the power, the raw power, and the bat-to-ball skills are unbelievable for Arjun Nimmala. Whereas Trey Savage, a bit more of a polished player, kind of, I wouldn't say at his ceiling when he got drafted, but not too far away from being at his ceiling. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think he can be maybe not an ace. Maybe I overvalued him a little bit early on in this video, but definitely a 2 or a 3. I think that is his floor if he can stay healthy. But another thing that we tend to look over with pitching prospects is that they don't really have the reps and they don't have as many innings as you'd like to see. So if you put them in a major league game, are they going to be able to get you 15 to 18 outs? That's the age-old question that we don't really have the answer to unless you throw them into the fire and see what they can do. But let me know in the comment section down below. The Blue Jays picked up a 3-0 win last night over the San Diego Padres. Do you believe that Trey Yesavage, their number one pick from a year ago, from last year's draft, can play a part for them as soon as this season? I do. I tend to agree with Jamie Campbell in his assessment over there. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you all tomorrow.